Weird science
is the revolution.
Fire and Ice, welcome to Smallville. Number 5. This book, written by Joanna Starr, blocked us. Art by Natasha Bustos, blocked us. Colors by Tamara Bonvillain, blocked us. Letters by Ariana Mayer. Solid gold, Eric. We are not blocked by her. She loves us. I don't know. She probably doesn't know about us, or she probably would have blocked us. This book is just not good. And you'll have a lot of people, I've dealt with people personally, that will legitimately say, oh man, the worst book's Fire and Ice, welcome to Smallville. And I'm, oh, what's your least favorite issue? Oh, I don't read it. I'm like, well, what? You don't like it because of the first day? Oh no, I'm not going to touch that. I'll never read that. We read it.
Well, maybe outside of just like weird hate, maybe they have a sixth sense that allows them to know ahead of time that a book is going to be garbage, as the French say.
The sixth sense is, I see bad books. That's what you whisper as the kid. The problem, and why I wanted to bring that up, is because we do not like this book, but we don't like it because of everything that's in it, everything that isn't in it, and everything that it seems to try to do and not do it. Yeah, it's the got
idea
so
that it's
many
just
things
aping
wrong.
blue and gold, but doing it 5 times worse somehow, but making the characters look worse as well. I don't understand. Like, what is this doing for anybody in the DC universe? Not like outside of readers and stuff like that. Because maybe you can jump in here and like, hey, it's like a colorful book with some funny jokes and some gags here and there. Funny book. Maybe that's what you're all about. I don't know who you are. That could be it. But if you just look at these characters, like, this is a chance to reintroduce Fire and Ice, some sorely misplaced heroes who haven't had a thing to do in decades, it feels like, at this point. And since, like, Justice League Generation lost, as far as I'm concerned. But it's like you have the chance to reinvent them for a new reading audience, or maybe just bring back the old reading audience. And I don't know who this will be work for in that case to make them legitimate going forward out of this book.
And I see a lot of people put it on their Books of the Year list. I think that's nonsense. I think that's, and really, I hate to tell people what to do, Eric, but if you end up seeing this on anybody's book of the, don't go to that site, podcast, or whatnot ever again.
They're going to tell you it's gas, but it's ass.
Yeah, exactly. And that's bullshit. And either they are trying to fight back at something and try to, or they just don't know anything. I hate to say that, but they're just dumb. But when you go into this is where I had people, and I liked actually the first issue and a half, maybe, or 2. I thought that it was trying to do something different. I've talked about it before when we review this, but a lot of people, and this happens with me and the Amazing Spider-Man when I'm doing that stuff. Oh, Spider-Man, he's quippy and he's funny. People say to me about this, oh, it's from the JLI. That book wasn't serious. It was all jokey. Here's the thing. It was jokey. It was never a joke. This is a joke. And there's no way that you get a hold of, DeMatteis and rest his soul, Keith Giffen, where you would say,
how are you going to get a hold of some people?
Well, if you would end up saying, you have a little, Ouija board, and say to them, oh, was your book a joke? They'd probably slap you. It would be like saying, to the astronauts, hey, you weren't on the moon, they'll punch you out. Like, there's never a time where any of these, right, like, would say, oh, yeah, that was just a joke. No, they had characters that were obscure characters that they did what they had to do and actually turned it into solid gold pretty much and gave it a vein where it was a lighthearted, funny book that went well against what the Justice League had always been. So it had
because
that
it had to be.
But because they only had certain characters that they can use. So with that, though, it was never a joke. This book is a joke. This book feels like Joanna Starr is writing it to convince you that DC Comics is a bunch of bullshit and you shouldn't even read them because look at this. I'll ask you a couple questions before we even go into what passes as a story here. Why did they have to go to Smallville? I know that the idea where she said, I didn't want to go to Smallville, they made me, but why? Because you haven't taken any bit of advantage of being in Smallville. And at the beginning of the series, King Shark shows up for this fight. Superman immediately is there to stop it. You son of a gun, you don't bring that. Now all hell is breaking loose and the guy is MIA. Superman should have been here 80 million times, including making sure that his drunk-ass mother doesn't get in an accident on the way back to the farm. This is such a joke. And even
it's 11 a.m.
Now, yeah. Seriously, she's like, I just want more orange juice. Oh, my.
Mother loves the juice.
Yeah, she loves it. Give me more of the juice. So in this book, you open it up, where Fire is waking up in a daze because she just got railed by Lobo that night, so she's walking with a limp. Then you find out that Lobo ended up stealing all the prize money, and I put that in air quotes because who cares? This is another one of those
all
books.
The prize money from all the freaking people that were doing the real world with Fire and Ice, who are sleeping in a cave right now. So all the prize money that was there for some reason, it's now been taken by Lobo, who wrote on the wall, "Thanks for the loot, buttheads. P.S. Your pie stinks, Elbow, the main man."
This is a joke, Eric. I mean, you see that, and at this point, you're like, oh, so am I the only one? I mean, reading this? Yes, Eric. Now, am I the only one who every time you start an issue, you think you've missed 3? Like, you start out and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Because now all of a sudden, I'm not just talking the beginning, I'm talking the whole thing. Like, all of a sudden, introduced concepts and things that never were set up, and it's just wacky, right?
But, like, what do these villains think happened? Because obviously the money's gone. They're pissed about that, so they're just going to take it to the town and steal everything they can from Smallville. But thanks for the loot, buttheads. P.S. Your pie stinks, Elbow. Maybe he's talking about Elron, so like, but the main man. But the idea then in Catman or whatever this guy's name, he's like, she doesn't like Elron's pie. She is evil. Who is she that the Catman is talking about?
Thinks it's Lobo, and I think maybe that was just a mistake. I did
because honestly, the Elbow I can see as a diss for Elron, but I originally wrote it, I thought it was like a weird slang for Lobo calling himself Elbow.
It's weird because in this book, you haven't set up these side characters. So when you get to them and you want to have these jokes with them, most people don't know. And then characters they do know, say like Gentleman Ghost, Gentleman Ghost.
You don't belong here.
No, and it's just the idea of whatever they want Gentleman Ghost to be. Oh, we kind of need a dead. Okay, we'll use him for that. Oh, we kind of need. Oh, we'll use him, and it's just not right. It's just everything's all over the place. But the main story here does end up being Fire and Ice not getting along. Originally, it was that Ice might want to settle down. She likes the small town, but I don't know what's going on with
action.
that. Fire misses the action and wants to get respect.
And the accolades, yeah.
But it kind of got away from that. It's like, now it's just zany craziness. It's the idea of all these villains. And even the play where when Fire got all these real-world-esque deal, Big Brother house type deal with these villains, you were expecting possibly to get the idea where, oh, everybody thinks King of Cats is stupid, but we're going to see that he actually needs to be redeemed. Oh, my God, he's actually got a heart.
Nope, everybody's
you never got
stupid.
any of that. Yeah, everybody's just ridiculous to the point where they don't even become memorable to when we get to this issue and you see there's nothing that's been going on, and then suddenly it's Rocky, the waitress that's been friends
Rocky
with
Road?
Ice. I said before I made the call that it was going to be one of those crazy masks.
That's
there
the
was
thing.
only that, you know?
This is how they get you, right? For some reason during this whole real world freaking, Road Rules, Big Brother, whatever reality TV show thing we're trying to do in this whole salon in Smallville, we had somebody that decided we're going to go and become cannibals and eat Beefeater, one of our bullshit villains. Oh my God, we got cannibals. But nobody really seems worried about the idea this happens. I kind of remember something like this. I'm yelling Wendigo this whole time, but it's something from her Nordic background where at one point her and her fairy tale family who lives, the way they do, they were taken upon, given the hunger by this character Crave, right? Who is found out about where Ice is because of this reality show and is taken it to Smallville. But on top of that, we have Rocky Road, who's been taken over by one of the masks that is hanging up in the salon, part of
how many things can you throw in here, right?
That is like the embodiment of Cooey Island that wants to rebuild itself here in Smallville because
where's Superman? Somebody call Superman. He needs to get here. Yeah, just because. Because when you're going through this and you have all these plays, like things are just being thrown at you. And really what I've learned is, number one, Fire, kind of a sleaze, right? I'm not going to mix words here.
Anymore, yeah.
Like, right? So there. I'm saying from this book, you got that. I also learned that Ice, big dummy, just a moron. Because she goes in and, hey, Rocky, what's going on? Nothing much going on. Wait, everybody, nobody's eating. You better get to work. Okay. And they're all just zombies there, and she just walks away.
When you're describing the idea of who Fire and Ice here, this is a very much a caricature of their actual traits. Like, Ice can be naive at times, and Fire can be sexual and adventurous and stuff like that. But this is just to the extreme. Just turning them into caricatures of who the characters are supposed to be.
So you say you want more character than caricature. Like, oh, my goodness.
I do say that.
Good. And it is true. Everybody ends up where it's their, one trait that Joanna Starr has gotten to the nth degree. And you have that. Then in the meantime, you end up getting Tam, and she's upset because she slept with this honey. And I'm like, I don't even care or know.
Nope.
You didn't set up enough. And then it's like, I think that they might have set fire to the salon, but we really don't know.
It doesn't matter because they were a villain, but like, why would they do that? It doesn't matter because we have another thing to show you that this is happening because of Cooey Island bullshit. It just comes out of nowhere because we decided to hang a cursed freaking mask on a wall that is the embodiment of an island that's no longer there.
Yeah,
I'm like,
because they needed knickknacks,
and this is somehow separate from the actual cannibal problem that we started off with.
Yeah, and there's still the cannibal problem. You still have Lobo stole the money, and then you have this, and then. It's not enough to just have, honey, then honey's, dissing Tam on the text.
Maybe it's like, better this way.
Like, what is going on in this book? And then, through all of this mess, out of nowhere, Fires, oh my goodness, I don't think that I've treated Ice well. Just zips up, because then you go to Rocky's brother, you go to the bar, then he's doing this, and then he's mad about Lobo, and it's all just comes crashing in on you.
He's mad about Bee sleeping with Lobo, right? But then you have Gorilla Grodd's sister come in, because at this point the villains decide, look, all our money's gone, we're just going to rob everybody in Smallville. She comes in to rob Charlie. And the thing is, Fire's on Gorilla Grodd's sister's side because you charge $8 for a beer, you're stealing from us. And me.
So now we're going to throw in jokes. Why didn't you rob from the bank? In this economy? You end up having Martha call. She's hungover. She doesn't know what she's at the hospital, probably because she got in an accident on the way home, drunk ass. And it's that Crave who's shown up. I'm like, what the is happening in this book? Crave was just introduced. You end up having, what is it? It's so
Cooey Island?
Cooey Island. A little callback.
Cooey Island.
Cooey. It's like, Gucci. It's like Charo made up of character when you say it, Eric. Gucci.
We're hitting all the kids' freaking meme fields with the Charo call out.
I'm telling you, everybody's being controlled by Cooey Island. Superman's going to come in and like, what the f***? Rocky now being taken over by Gucci Island. She's controlling everybody. And you get a call from drunk-ass Martha saying, oh, my God, there's somebody who needs to talk to you. Oh, my, it's Crave. It is. And, yeah, that ends it. And everybody's like, oh, no, we better go step that. I think that what happens at the end, Superman comes in, says, what the hell did you do? And they're going to throw shade at him.
Get out of my town.
And I think that's what he should do. They'll stop all this, save Martha, and then somehow Superman will come in and praise them for this nonsense.
We'll just get credit, and they'll be even angrier.
Yeah, I think that what he's going to do is, how could you do this? And then they'll throw it back at him. You're the one who forced it to do this. What right did you have? Let's all just get out of here. And then Gentleman Ghost will be like, why the f*** was I in this book? Ye old people.
Poor Gentleman Ghost.
Hello, love, I'm Gentleman's Ghost here, and I have nothing to do. Yeah, Beefeater got freaking eaten.
R.I.P.
Well, according to Joanna Starr, you can have Gentleman Ghost possess people, so he just possessed the ghost of Beefeater. So there you go. It all works out.
Possess the ghost of Beefeater.
Exactly. I mean, why not?
So a ghost possessing another ghost.
Gucci Island. Yeah, that's my favorite thing from this whole series. The idea that this is on somebody's end of year best of. Really, all that does is tell you, boy, it was a kind of a down year. We've had some problems this year, and I do agree with that.
Shenanigans.
It's bad. What would you give this?
I would give this a 2.5 out of 10. The story is just atrocious all throughout. Characterization, still like the plot in general. And the art, it's okay. It's just not something I really enjoy for how it is. But it's got a style to match the cartooniness of the story, but it just makes the story itself and the characterization just makes everything pretty awful.
I think before these last couple, like the first two issues, I said, the art fits the story. I don't even know if the story is anymore, so I don't know what would fit it, except a fish.
Gucci Island.
2 out of 10. 2 out of 10. It reminds me of that bullshit Titans Academy book, but through the filter of Mark Russell. And what I'm saying is complete and utter garbage, right? Doesn't it feel like that? Like you're doing weird stuff, but then you're trying to do
let's take One Star Squadron, Teen Titans Academy, and make the worst book possible.
Hey, all you weirdos, if you like comic book shows, podcasts, videos, please check the description of this video where you can see links to all of our podcast shows, websites, all of that. And if you want to help us out for everything that we do, you can click on that Patreon link in the upper left-hand corner and check out our Patreon where you can go right now and get a 7-day free trial to see all the stuff that we do, shows that are Marvel, DC, indie, manga, and even more. So check all that out, and I'll talk to you all later.
Weird science
is the revolution.